Good morning, class 5 students. Today I'm going to teach you grammar, chapter 10, kinds of sentences and clauses. Now, a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate and makes complete sense by itself is a sentence. A group of words that contains a subject and a predicate and is a part of a sentence is called a clause. The predicate must contain a finite word and it may consist of only a finite verb. We shall use the word verb to refer to a finite verb. So we will just use the word verb to refer to a finite verb. Now there are many kinds of sentences. What are the kinds? Simple sentences, complex sentences, compound sentences, then compound complex sentences, then complex sentences with two or more subordinate clauses coordinate to one another. So let us go with simple sentences. Simple sentence. Now example, the men were constructing a dam. It is a simple sentence. Hardy is happy. Now look at both these sentences here. A and B, they contain only one clause each. Subject, the first one, men. Predicate, were constructing a dam. Verb, were constructing. Now let's go to the second one, hardy. Hardy is the subject here. Predicate is happy. Verb is. Now a sentence which contains only one clause is known as a simple sentence. Let's see. Complex sentence. Let's go to the other part. The complex sentence. A sentence may contain more than one clause. So it becomes complex. The girl sang a song that everybody liked. The girl sang a song that everybody liked. Now let's see. Which is the subject here? The subject is girls. Predicate, sang a song. The verb is sang, right? She did something, she sang. So predicate sang a song. Now subject, again in the same sentence, there's another subject, everybody. What did everybody do? They liked. So predicate, that liked. The verb is liked. Note that clause 1 makes complete sense by itself. Okay, the girls sang a song. It makes complete sense there. The girls sang a song. But clause 2 does not. If I say that everybody liked, it does not make sense. Everybody liked what? But the first sentence, the girls sang. The girls sang. So it makes sense. But the second clause does not make any sense. That everybody liked. So clause 2 tells us more about the noun song. It tells us something more about the song that everybody liked, and depends on clause 1 to make sense. It depends on the clause 1, on the first sentence. The girl sang a song. We call clause 1 the main or the principal clause, that is the main or the principal clause, and we call 2 a dependent or subordinate clause. Hardy. Now let's go to another example. Hardy, who is Laurel's friend, is happy. This sentence contains two verbs, is, okay, and so contains also two clauses. Hardy is happy. It makes sense. Subject is Hardy, predicate is happy. Now let's go to the other part. Who is Laurel's friend. Subject is who, predicate is Laurel's friend. Clause 1 makes complete sense by itself. Hardy is happy. But clause 2, who is Laurel's friend? It does not make any sense. So that's clause 2 depends on the clause 1. Hardy is happy. So clause 1 is the main or principal clause, and clause 2 is a dependent or subordinate clause. It is depending on the main clause for it to make sentence. So each of the sentences C and D contains one main clause and one subordinate clause. Now look at this sentence. Hardy, who is Laurel's friend, fell into a ditch which was full of mud. This sentence contains three verbs: is, fell, was. So it contains three clauses. Hardy fell into a ditch. Subject is Hardy. Predicate fell into a ditch. Next one. Who is Laurel's friend? Who, subject, predicate is Laurel's friend. Now let's look at the which was full of mud. Subject which. Predicate was full of mud. The clause makes complete sense by itself. It makes complete sense. Hardy fell into a ditch. So you understand what happened. He fell into a ditch. But none of the clauses 2 and 3 makes complete sense by itself. Like, who is Laurel's friend? Does not make sense. Which was full of mud? Does not make. What was full of mud? It does not make any sense. So clause 1 is the main principal clause, and clause 2 and 3 are subordinate clause. Now such a sentence which consists of one main clause and one or two more than subordinate clauses is called a complex sentence. Now compound sentence. A sentence which contains two or more verbs may contain two or more main or principal clauses. The other one what we saw was one main or principal clause. The other one was subordinate clauses, 2 or 3. Now over here in the compound sentence you will have two or more than two main or principal clauses. This sentence contains two verbs, is and so. Now Hardy is happy and Laurel is sad. Hardy is happy and Laurel is sad. This sentence contains two verbs, is, and so contains two clauses. Hardy is happy. Subject is Hardy. Predicate is happy. Laurel is sad. Subject is Laurel. Predicate is sad. Both make sense. Each of the two clauses, they make complete sense. Both of them. Laurel is happy. Hardy is happy. Laurel is sad. They make complete sense. They are joined together by the conjunction and. Such clauses which are parts of the same sentence and each of which makes complete sense by itself are known as coordinate clauses. The coordinate clauses. Bread is good, but cake is better. This sentence contains two verbs, is, and so contains two clauses. Bread is good, bread is subject, predicate is good, cake is better, subject cake is better, predicate. Now, better than bread, it is understood. Each clause makes complete sense by itself. Both of them make complete sense. They are therefore called coordinate clauses. They are joined together by the conjunction but. And the first one we had conjunction was and. Second one is but. So, let's look at another example. One of the bird's wings was broken and it could not fly, and the little bird felt sad. This sentence contains three verbs: was, could, or could not, fly, fell, and so three clauses. One of the bird's wings was broken. Subject, one of the bird's wings. Predicate was broken. It could not fly. Subject again, it. Predicate could not fly. Now let's look at the other one. The third one. The little girl felt sad. Subject, the little girl. Predicate, felt sad. So the clauses are joined by the conjunction and. Yeah, all the clauses are joined by the conjunction and. Each clause makes complete sense by itself. Each of them makes complete sense. It could not fly. The little girl felt sad. One of the bird's wings was broken. It all makes complete sense. So all three are coordinate clauses. Now some call a compound sentence consisting of two coordinate clauses a double sentence. And a compound sentence consisting of more than two coordinate clauses a multiple sentence. In a compound sentence, Delhi is the capital of India and London is the capital of England. They are double. Now multiple compound sentence. Delhi is the capital of India and London is the capital of England, but they are not as big as New York. Multiple sentence. Compound complex sentences. A sentence may contain two or more coordinate clauses and one or more than one subordinate clause. Now Arka, who is my friend, lives in Kolkata, and Ram, who is also a friend of mine, lives in Mumbai. Now let's look at this sentence. Let us break it up. This sentence consists of four clauses. Arka lives in Calcutta. Subject is, we are talking about Arka. Predicate, lives in Calcutta. Now who is my friend? Subject, who. Predicate is my friend. Ram lives in Mumbai. Subject, Ram. Predicate, lives in Mumbai. Who is also my friend? Subject, who. Predicate is also my friend. Now each of the clauses 1 and 2 makes complete sense. 1 and 2 they make complete sense by itself, but none of the clauses 2 each of the clauses 1 and 3, clause 1 and 3 they make complete sense by itself, but none of the clauses 2 and 4 makes complete sense by itself. So clauses 1 and 3 are coordinate clauses and clauses 2 and 4 are subordinate clauses because they are depending on the main clause or the principal clause. The two coordinate clauses are joined by the conjunction and. Now a sentence which consists of two or more coordinate clauses and one or more than one subordinate clause is called a compound complex sentence. So now complex sentence with two or more subordinate clauses coordinate to one another. Here, a complex sentence may contain two or more subordinate clauses coordinate to one another. Now let's see, look at these examples. Rita lost the handbag which Deepa had given her and which she kept all her jewelry. Now let's see here. There are three verbs in the sentence: lost, had given, and kept. Lost, had given, and kept. Rita lost her handbag. Subject here is Rita. What is the predicate? Lost a handbag. Now let's go to 2. Which Deepa had given her. Subject Deepa. Predicate which had given her. Now let's see 3. In which she kept all her jewelry. All her. Subject she. Predicate in which kept all her jewelry. Now clauses. Clause 1. Let's look at clause 1. Rita lost the handbag. That is the main clause. That's the principal clause. She lost the handbag. Now clause 2 and 3, which describes the noun handbag. It is describing the noun handbag, are subordinate clauses. They also coordinate to each other and join together by the conjunction and. So the sentence as a whole is a complex sentence. As a whole, the full sentence is a complex sentence because it contains one main clause and two subordinate clauses. It is not a compound sentence because the coordinate clauses are subordinate clauses and none of them makes complete sense by itself. Such a sentence may at best be called a complex compound sentence, but never a compound sentence. Also, always remember that a compound sentence must contain at least, always remember, which is very important, that a compound sentence must contain at least two main clauses. They must have two main clauses, which are to coordinate to each other. Now, what are the kinds of subordinate clauses? We shall now look at three kinds of subordinate clauses: adjective clauses, adverb clauses, and noun clauses. Adjective, adverb, and noun. Now, a clause which does the work of an adjective is an adjective clause. A clause which does the work of an adjective is called an adjective clause. Now, let's see. Let's see the example. The boy who had rescued the child from the fire, was rewarded for his bravery. Harsh, who is an intelligent boy, solved the problem easily. Who is an intelligent boy? What is an adjective? An adjective is the word which describes something, right? So, let's see, the main clause is the boy was rewarded for his bravery. The main clause, the boy was rewarded for his bravery. Who had rescued the child from the fire is a subordinate clause, for it does not make complete sense by itself. Now let's see subject who. Predicate had rescued the child from the fire. It qualifies the boy noun in the main clause. It is therefore a subordinate adjective clause. Similarly, in I or in L, who is an intelligent boy is a subordinate adjective clause. Subject who, predicate is an intelligent boy. It qualifies the noun Harsh in the main clause. Harsh solved the problem easily. Now, exercise A, and at the exercise A, pick out the adjective clause from the following sentences. Also mention the nouns they qualify. I will do that the next class. And adverb clauses. Now, adverb clauses, let me go to adverb clauses. Adverb clauses, which does the work of an adverb, is an adverb clause. Same thing as an adjective. What does the work of an adjective is called adjective clause. Over here, adverb which does the work of an adverb is called adverb clause. The ring was found when the thief The ring was found where the thief had hidden the stolen jewelry. We reached the theatre after the play had started. Now let's look at M. Where the thief had hidden the stolen jewelry is a clause. I think it's 18 minutes. So I will cut short the video here. And the next video also I will teach the same lesson. I will continue the same lesson in the next video. For today, you go through this, read the chapter, whatever I taught, listen properly, and keep your book open. And while watching this video, keep your book open. I taught till page 59, and in the next class after this, I will complete this chapter. And while watching the video, keep your book open and go through the lesson. Thank you and have a good day.